Hi, and welcome to the webinar today, Gathering and Using Business Demographics and Business Intelligence. It's kind of a jungle out there in the information universe these days, and we've got to learn how to sort that out and use the business demographics and business intelligence for our own best uses. That way, it's much less likely we'll be taken by surprise with business or demographic or competition surprises, and we'll be much more likely to be able to implement our business plans and strategies successfully. My name is Frank Saline. I'm the CEO and founder of Third Level Consulting. Along with our team, we bring you every month an infographic, a set of supporting documents, and a short recorded webinar to give you and your management team the edge in the business world of the Children's Activity Center industry. If you haven't seen our new website at thirdlevelconsulting.com, 3rdlevelconsulting.com, you should go there. If you're a member, there's a new member login or a member login for the best practices library and other features that we have. If you're using the success dashboards as either a free user or a paid member, where you have access to all of the professional dashboards for the owners, administrators, office managers, and program managers. It's right here for you to log in at any page. And if you just like a free consultation, you can click on free consultation anywhere on the website or at the top here, and we'd be happy to give you a few minutes of a consultation on your particular business objectives, or just listen as a sounding board. To describe what we do has always been interesting because we do so much. But now if you just hover your cursor over the what we do navigation bar tab, you'll see who we serve, what our services are, the events we have, and some other key resources. All right, well, without any further ado, let's get into what we came here for today. And what we came here for today was to look at business demographics and business intelligence. As we stated before, it's kind of a jungle out there. So we're in a little safari, basically, to make sense of it all. And I don't know if you know, but in our industry, the Children's Activity Center industry, about 95% of these small business owners, and most of us are, don't really know what their market share is in terms of actual student numbers. There's not a way for them to tell how do we actually analyze our community demographics, the children, the families, the incomes, the household costs, the competition, etc., to determine what your market share is. How do you know if what you have right this minute in terms of student numbers or revenues are either at your market share, above your market share, or under? So it's very important. I'll show you a 5-step process to do that here in this particular webinar. You'll see that the documents that are here, of course, our clients that are third level members get the entire set every single month, the webinars, the document set, and all of the infographics as well. Everybody else, you're welcome to the webinar. Maybe you're taking screenshots, you're welcome to do that. There's another 60% of small business owners in our industry that don't accurately evaluate their competition. In other words, how is their competition stacking up internationally, nationally, regionally, locally? Sometimes they don't even know how their own business stacks up, much less their competition. And benchmarking against the best competitors in the industry in the world in your particular vein, whether it's gymnastics, cheerleading, swim, dance, martial arts, childcare, whatever it is. Well, you got to have a methodology for this. So basically, you want to gather business intelligence to get ahead of the competition and stay ahead. So first of all, you're looking at global trends. There are information sources that we use as third level that you may find a little expensive to use, but that's again why you'd be a member of Third Level, so we can leverage our knowledge and our buying power for you and bring these to you. But things like IBISWorld, Accenture, Factiva, yeah, there's a lot of information out there, but you pay for the really good stuff, and we tend to do that. That's at the global level. You want to be aware of what is happening out there, not only in your industry, but global financial trends, etc. Again, so you're not taken by surprise. The second step is national trends, attending your national seminars and events, maybe a member of a national business organization as well. In the U.S., we're members of the National Independent Business Federation. I just believe in them, but that's, of course, up to you. You're trying to stay attuned to, again, what's happening in the big sweeping social and financial trends nationally, as well as exactly what's happening in your industry. Most of you attend national or at least regional seminars to understand what's going on. And regional is the next level down. and then local trends, and at the local level where you can gather most of your competitive information from the Chamber of Commerce, the Department of Labor, real estate forecasts, your facility, very site-specific demographics, which Third Level Consulting does produce for our clients. Every year you have the right to ask for an annual update, very, very detailed demographic maps and trend information. Paying attention to your own clients inside your own facility and figuring out different ways to survey. And then, of course, your competitors, paying attention to what they're doing. So by the time you've looked at the international, the national, the regional, and the local, you've gathered enough information to be able to position your business correctly. If you're interested, we can produce these demographic reports for you and actually help you determine your expected market share plus or minus 5%. So we offer a lot, and becoming a member is a great thing. There's some other documents that are here. This one's a Word document that kind of describes the infographic in a little bit more detail on gathering business intelligence. And here you'll find a document called Demographics and Determining Your Market Share. Now, as a client, you're able to do this. You may be just, like I say, taking a couple of screenshots or just paying attention or taking notes if you're not a member at this point. But this is one of the ways we do it, and that is the 6-step formula for determining your market share. The first is establishing the mileage or kilometer radius that you draw the majority, 90% of your customers from. Don't include the few outliers that come from a further distance. Second is then adding up the number of children in that target age group radius. And this might be different for your different services. Swim schools might realistically target ages 0 through 9 or 0 through 10, while gymnastics schools might target ages 2 through 13. It's up to you and what your business model is. The third thing is determining from the household incomes, discretionary earnings, and average home costs the percentage of children in households that cannot afford your services. So where up here you might have had 50,000 children in this particular age group, depending on the kind of area you're in, metro, rural, wherever, suburban, there might be 30 or 35% that cannot afford it. So your 50,000, if a third of them can't afford it, might all of a sudden be down to 33,000 or so. There's also evaluating the competition in a chosen radius. It gives you a formula for evaluating your competition. But if the competition rating was a 3, let's say, well, then your 33,000 kids became divided by 3, became 11,000. And then looking at the market share that's actually looking at gymnastics, cheerleading, dance, swim in the first place. So what's the percentage that you are looking at of the people that are in the remainder that's over? So if you only had 3,300 left, maybe only 10% are looking for gymnastics at any one time. So you might be now into the 3,300 or so, and then you'd have to, in addition, one extra step is figuring out what would you have the first year. Now, if you're expanding your current operation, it would be more. It might be 70 or 80% of that market share. But if you're not, if you're starting up as a second facility or a first facility, you might only get 40% the first year. So you got to make your budgets work on that as well. At any rate, that has to do with determining your market share. There's another document that we have that's called 5 Steps for Studying Your Market Competition. And again, it's kind of just a different look at the infographic we had before, with some key objectives to specifically looking at the factors that are successful for you, and are they then applicable to analyzing your market competition, looking at your industry in your local area, your marketing environment, your company and your objectives, your collaborators and your competitors. It's kind of like a SWOT analysis, maybe a little bit more detail here. So developing your marketing strategy based on those things is great. This set of documents is terrific. I think you'll like it. We included one more document in this set, which is a copy written by the Flood Company. Fantastic. This thing called New Competitor Intelligence. This is copywritten, so I can't really show this to you, but it is about the new competitor intelligence, which had to do with finding, analyzing, and using information. If you're serious about doing this, this book's been out here for a while, but the book, The New Competitor Intelligence, I'll just show you the table of contents here. Understanding intelligence, as you can see, basic approaches and techniques to gathering business intelligence, You look at the government sources, the corporate intelligence that's already in print, databases for corporate intelligence, international intelligence. This is largely for big corporations, but we can use some of their principles to even do this somewhat locally. And I know that the instant reaction to some of this is to say, well, we haven't got time to do this. We really just we kind of our knee-jerk reaction to our competition, or we just want to stay ahead of them. If we win in competition, that's good enough. We think we're doing better than them for student numbers, but no one knows about profitability and what the ultimate profitability is, except the people that are running that business, and you really can't tell. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this business demographics, just a little overview. Those of you that are our clients, spend some time studying the documents. They help as always, of course. The infographic is there for you too, as is the recorded webinar to play back anytime. Take good care now. We'll see you later.